with a Word doc that has a sign up y'all can print,
Okay,
and then just possible interested.
okay, yeah.
And if you can just give that to your classes, or, you know, put it up and say, look, if you're interested, let's say once a month, okay,
Yep. Mhm.
after school, a couple hours, and we'll let you know when, and let's see who signs up.
Okay.
And then we all can just put that list, print it, put it in my box.
Okay.
And if it looks like there's a lot of interest, then I don't mind follow through with it, you know, I don't mind. If y'all can help, cool.
Yeah,
If you can't, cool. I really wanna do that soccer thing, I think they would love
Oh, yeah, they would definitely.
and not, you know, let's don't make it so organized, let's just say, here, y'all be
Kind
a
of
team,
an
team,
informal.
team, let's go, here's a, you know how to work out a soccer
Yeah,
tournament
yeah.
grid, you know, and then here's the prize, you get the, you know, you get the honor of being the Conrad High School World
World
Cup champs, you know, huh?
I think that would be good. I think that would be great, especially, again, it ties in that soccer that they love.
You guys have, you know, what do you call those things that they put on?
Bibs?
Yeah, you have
Yeah.
those? Yeah. Okay, so also, I will send an email with a Word doc if you just print and talk to your classes, say,
Yeah.
here's the sign up.
Mhm. Okay, so we went over that. Okay, so we'll be looking for that email from you. Now moving on to the next one. All right, so a big thing that they've been pushing is they want us to push in class is this aggressive monitoring. So what I'm going to do is kind of run you through the steps of how they want us to do this aggressive monitoring. Obviously, you know, just kind of giving you an overview, data analysis, setup of your chart in your room, as well as an exemplar, how the laps work, and a small group instruction. Okay, so I gave you all this, I gave you the handout, so we'll look at those in a bit. But data analysis, this is mine from last spring, 2019, and it shows the teaks that were on the test. You know, we want to hit the low-lying teak. We have two, so it's kind of easy to figure out which one's which. I think both of them hit on comprehension, and I think what this aggressive monitoring is going to do is kind of hit on that comprehension. But I'm going to look at 2B, both 2B and 2C. We can look at them, one because one's audio and the other one's reading comprehension. So again, we can look at this. This could be our benchmark, and then as we go on doing common assessments, things like that, we can analyze that data and look at the data and see where the kids stand, where they fall, if they're getting better or if they're getting worse, or what we can change. You know, implementing when we implement the aggressive monitoring. So as you can see, we got 46.2. Here we're still below district, so we want to. I mean, it's only two teaks, so we want to hit on both of them. How do yours look? As far as okay?
Mine, French 1 was above district, and French 2 was, as a whole,
Okay.
just like a 0.5 below. But they were low in 2B, which is the listening part.
Yeah.
And that they're always lower.
Okay.
That's the one.
Okay. So
I believe 2B is keywords.
Yeah.
Is that the inferencing keywords, and 2C is
listening. Yeah, 2C is the listening.
the listening.
Yeah.
No, I don't know if in the listening pattern part, how this work in the test. Yeah, I don't know. I I'm not sure that it's a good audio of the teachers to the,
I mean,
because the students say that sometimes.
it's too fast.
Well, did you listen to it?
I listen the CD, but the problem is I don't know if the teacher put in a good volume or.
Oh,
Okay,
yeah.
okay, you're talking about, so it could be a teacher or human error, human mistake. Cause I
Yeah.
know,
Because they don't understand and he don't know
That's true.
what they do and some say me that it's not.
Well, I'll tell you what I did. Well, I got that Bose speaker,
yeah,
and I found out who was giving my test. So it was Jones out of the band department. So before he went in there, I said, okay, you're giving my test. I said, can you come here? I said, the best way to do this, because I finally got a good speaker
Yeah,
that he
yeah,
told me
yeah.
about, I said, is use the computer, and I showed him how it worked. I said,
Yeah.
put it on 90, put it on 95. And I said, let me just show you. And I just ran through it. I put a CD in, and I had him log in, and I did kind of like a dry run before the ACD,
yeah,
because I think that was a problem one year, because they were fumbling, they were trying to use the boom box, and,
yeah.
I mean, this is such a weight on their grade,
Uh-huh.
and so I did that last year,
Mhm.
and okay, whether they understood or not's another thing, but they should be able to hear.
Yeah, and that's what I did. I bought a $10 speaker, even though we shouldn't have to, we have brand new computers essentially, but I
It's
bought,
not
I
loud.
bought a brand new speaker just so that I can have something to amplify.
Find out who's giving
So-
their test, especially for
Yeah,
AP, what a mess.
One of the teacher that take the test for my class, she said me, no, but where is the
Boombox, yeah.
remember, because we don't use the computer.
Yeah,
This
Okay,
is
well, you know
not
what,
legal.
if
This
you
is-
need it next year, I have the big one, you can take my big one, because they always use my
yeah, we
computers.
could just.
So I will give it, I'll put it in your room.
Yeah,
It's about the teacher, I don't understand what, if the test is a,
yeah,
and I say, no, it's not computer in during the test. Wait.
You have to. But if you need it, just ask me,
Yeah.
I'll give it to you.
so, going back to this, I had 105 students, so that's roughly about 48, about 48, 49 students, maybe 50, that were below district. So, that's one thing I'll work on is the reading comprehension. So, when we look at this, guys, make sure you're breaking it down, again, by the standard, but also when we're setting up the room, when you're setting up the students, kind of what you want to do is you want to kind of set it up from high level, mid level, and low level. If you look at this one right
Yeah, you
here.
have a seat.
Yeah, the seating chart. This is how I have it here in class.
I
You know, I have
think,
a-
are the, which one? Is it-
So,
Who's
this-
the low?
this high level, you're gonna
High
want to
is-
start
Is, which
where
one?
we're at the start. So,
1, 2?
yeah, you're gonna want to right here, the start.
Oh, okay,
You
those
wanna-
are high level.
Yeah, because you wanna start them at the high level. You're gonna start off at the high level when you're doing your monitoring,
Mhm.
just because it's gonna tell you, hey, if these guys aren't getting it, then something's going on.
Okay, I have a question.
Yes.
So I have a CD chart, but it's based based on high-low, but it's also based on behavior.
Mhm.
So when you do aggressive monitoring, do you just make a completely new seating chart?
Yeah, you can go by the one that you.
Because it's set up, it has to be set up, especially I have a class of like 36.
Yes.
Yeah.
I have to address classroom management as well as I try to set a high with a low, you know?
I mean, you
So
want.
it's never set up like
Yeah,
this.
I mean, you want it to be set up where it's conducive for you,
Okay.
where it's conducive for a conducive learning environment, because.
So you don't suggest making like a new,
No.
Okay.
If you're doing it behavior-wise, and these kids, and if you're sitting high-low, I mean, obviously try and get to the ones that are higher first. Let them kind of work through it and see
yeah,
if
I
they
do that. I
and
do
if they
that.
can work through that, because again, what we're trying to see is, did we teach, did we let them know, did we show them, hey, this is what you need to do, and they don't understand that, then it's gonna be hard for the
weaker ones,
medium and low ones to understand and
Yeah, I
comprehend
usually,
what's
that's the
going
first
on.
thing I do is I'll just go straight to the highs.
Yes,
And if they're getting it, then I'll go ahead and do my lab
Yeah.
as it goes.
yeah,
But I'll
that's,
just kind of, I give them a minute and then I'll check in with the highs.
Okay.
Okay, yeah, they're getting it.
Uh-huh.
Now I'll do my lab.
so again, on your seating chart that I'm gonna send out to you all, okay, it'll have a seating chart and a monitoring pathway, so draw how your room is set up. You know, again, start from the high level kids and work your way through each of them, and from high, medium, to ending at the low kids. If you look, it has room for what they got on the ACP. This can be common assessment as far as percentage wise. So if you look, Asmaram on his ACP, he got a 20 on this teak. He got 20% on this teak. So we want to focus on him. We want to also make sure that all the students have what their ACP score is, so that we know where they're deficient at. On here, so just make sure on here it has the days Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, because it's AB day block scheduling. And on here it has lab.
Can I get this?
Yeah, I'm gonna
Like
email
a
this to
blank
you.
one?
Yeah. So we got lap 1, lap 2, and lap 3. Again, this can be manipulated to your liking.
How many laps do you do? How many tasks?
I do 3 different tasks.
What are they?
So I'm gonna hit that.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm gonna hit that in a little bit. So on your as you're doing your laps, just make sure you have certain codes to let the kids know. I carry around a black and red pin. My black means good. My red pin means something, either you got it wrong or something needs to look at. You need to look at it again. So my red pin obviously tells you something's wrong.
You know, what I did, because I use these for a quiz, I use the ones that give us, like, if it's a star,
Okay.
that's,
Yeah.
hey, super duper. Check is good, you're doing good. Question is, maybe you need to look at that, because you're leaving something out, okay? And then a minus is, whoa, you got this all wrong, you need to start over.
Yeah.
And the reason I do that is because I use these for my quizzes.
Yeah.
Well, I haven't yet, but that's what because I'm still teaching them the strategies.
Yeah.
Okay. So what I did is, if they got a star,
Mm-hmm.
I went 90 to 100. If they got a check, I went 80 to 90. If they got a question mark, that was 70 to 80. And if they got a minus, it was 70 or below.
Yeah.
And then when I graded them, it sounds like it takes a lot of time, but it doesn't. Because when I graded them, I would go through their papers, and I knew that, and I would add them all up, divide by 4, and that was their grade. And they're really cool with that. They like that, because it shows them. So they're like, oh, you gave me a minus, but I said, so they're really trying to get that star on there,
Yeah.
And it worked really good for a quiz grade, because we had to give them a quiz,
And I do similar. I do a check mark, I do a question mark, and I do an X. So those 3.
It's like instant feedback.
Yeah, that's what we want to do, is give them instant feedback. But again, make sure you have something that every time that you're going around and checking, like the laps, you're letting them know, hey, check this is good, check this again, or.
And it's hard because you gotta check it on here, and you gotta check it, you gotta put that star on there, and you gotta put it on their paper too, and do it like, what, 3 minutes?
Yeah, so, I mean, it's, again, we don't want to do 10 different, 10 different items in one lap. We wanna do one, just so that we're, okay, the kids know, and I'm gonna show you how I have it.
So here you have correct,
Yeah,
incorrect form, that would be like for math.
Yes.
Right? Incorrect setup.
Yep, yep. Okay, so now we're looking at the exemplar. All right, our exemplar, I've gone through and I've marked what I want to see. So for lap one, this is a bit better so that y'all can see this is a little colored in. So my lap one is I'm having the kids go through and highlight cognates and circle vocab words that we've gone over.
So words that they know.
Yeah, yeah, so words that they know, highlighted it, what I want to see. And then it's kind of hard with the kids that are the refugees and the ELs, the English language learners, because they don't know the English, but you know, so cognates don't come easy. So that's one thing we can look at to providing them small group instruction. Hey, okay, this is.
But not during this.
No, yeah, not during this, not during this. We have a spot on our checklist as the notes, and if we want to, you know, think we need to put them through small group instruction, we can put them through small group
So
instruction.
we're looking at like lap one, and they're just consistently scoring low, we would just make a note. Like
Yep, small group, yes.
SG,
Yep.
SG.
So my second lap, how I have it is, I've given them questions at the beginning. I've let them look at them. I've kind of
At the beginning.
at the beginning of the infograph. So, hey, we're doing this is our infograph. These are the questions that I want you to look for. Okay,
So they look at these before you even start your
yeah,
restaurant.
yes. The questions are there, and they'll look at them to know what they are looking for, and I mirror them closely to what the ACP is telling us to do. So.
These are good questions.
So the questions here, that's another lap. So it depends.
Like each question is a lap?
No, it's going to be one lap. It depends. I'll do one or two questions together in a lap. I just wrote down a third question just to, you know, if it was easy and a bunch of kids were getting done with it, I would give them, hey, this is an extra credit.
That's good. Oh, okay,
So,
good. I gotta write that down. So number 3 was like
An extra.
extra.
Yeah.
So they're not sitting there bored.
Yeah. So we got lap 1, lap 2 is the questions. Lap 3, I just have them look at the whole piece as one and say, give me your main idea and give me one fact that you got out of here.
That supports the main idea?
That's just a fact. Okay, just, I try not to, yes, it's completely correct, yes, it's completely wrong. I just want them to get that mindset of, okay,
Trying to get the meaning.
trying to piece things together, whether it's cognates, whether it's vocabulary, context, inferencing. So I want them to use all that stuff, okay, to try and figure out what the main idea is. And you gotta have times. Make sure you have times. You know,
5 minutes.
just 5 minutes, 7 minutes,
7
5 minutes, just so that you're going through and you're making sure you're sticking to your agenda.
So you got 17 minutes there, but this whole thing probably takes you about a half an hour, trying to get up, explain it.
Yeah, from beginning to end, and letting them know, hey, okay, because I also want to introduce the vocabulary.
Oh,
You know,
before?
yeah, just so that so we're working on it, and they know.
So you would do that before you
Yes,
did this?
yes, yeah. So-
Vocabulary that's in, like the circled words?
Yes, So part of the circle words, the circle words are vocabulary. I also have on there any misconceptions, anything that I think the kids are gonna get wrong. So, you know, one of the big ones is false cognates.
So you'll go over those?
Yeah, I'll go over those. Again, that's one of those laps, when, on my lap 1, I'm gonna look, did they have any false cognates?
Even though you had gone on over them before?
Yes, yeah.
So have they been listening?
Yes, exactly. So you false cognates, having the kids highlight everything. They just sometimes like, oh, I'm gonna waste Miss Torres' ink, so they highlight everything. So we want to kind of make sure they're staying on task. You know, a misconception is word for word translation. That gets me. That gets me every time. Someone's always translating word for word, even though we've gone over sentence structure at the beginning of the year. They always will translate word for word, and translating word for word in a foreign language, not always works.
So did you do this before?
What's that?
This,
The-
introducing words, misconceptions?
Yes, yes.
Because, yeah, can I give you an example?
Mhm.
We did one, and it was on families in Canada.
Uh-huh.
So one of the words was, phrases was unión viva, which, especially if they speak Spanish, they could get it real easy.
Mhm.
Unión is like a cognate,
Yeah.
union, and then viva, everybody pretty much got that's free.
Uh-huh.
So they wrote down as free union. And then I had a couple of people that don't use their brains that said, oh, this has to do with labor unions.
Yeah.
So we were going over it, and I said, okay, even though that is a word-for-word translation, you got the translation right,
Mhm.
yay. But what in the world is a free union talking about families?
Yeah, and that's
And they couldn't answer it.
Yeah.
So we had it's making them go into that critical thinking
mhm.
of, hey, wait a minute here, what's the context we're talking about? Families, what is a free, they didn't know what, and then we got to talk to them, I go, well, ask yourself, what kind of union, what is a union, you know, two people together, what kind would cost you money?
Yeah.
Especially if you got a divorce.
Like,
And then we talked about it.
Yeah.
So that would be something you do beforehand?
yes, yeah, let them know.
Okay.
I mean, I kind of say, hey, get them in the mindset, look at the text, look at the context, see how is it being used.
So they go back to
Yeah.
critical thinking.
Yeah.
Make
Mhm.
sure you're in context.
Mhm. So, next one is going to be our laps. So again, my laps, I wanna, so say for example, y'all in my class, y'all are my, you high and low. So I'd say, hey guys, all right, we're gonna go through, highlight all the cognates and circle your vocabulary. So y'all gonna highlight your cognates and circle your vocabulary words, and I'm gonna go through and I'm gonna mark, okay, check mark, X, so I see you got a false cognate, you say you think that you realize, I'm gonna, question mark here, and I'm also gonna question mark on my chart.
Because
And
they
then
did a false cognate.
and then once I go through, make my rounds with everybody, I'll go and say, okay guys, y'all either have 1 minute left or y'all, alright, we're done. Alright, next thing we're moving on to, I want you to answer question number 1, okay, and explain. So, I would want them to underline any information, any context that they could use to explain.
So what are
the
you
answer.
expecting out of that? You're acting, the activities out of here, and then like sentences to explain it?
Yeah, I mean, again, we're looking at the ACP and how it's structured. The ACP questions are in English, and the majority of the answers will be in English. So, I let them, it's kind of more of a translation, but I let them say, okay, answer question 1 and explain to me in English what you think your explanation is.
So like on number 1, they might say, I don't speak Spanish, they might say, visitas cultural, they might say that's an activity,
Mm-hmm.
cultural
Mhm.
visit.
Yep.
And then looking at this paragraph on here, they might, in their own words, explain what a culture
Yeah,
is.
what a cultural is. Because, I mean, in
So
here
it
you'll
looks like
see.
they have 5 of them, they just have to choose 3.
You see here museums, cultures, so that kind of gets you, okay, what other cultural things what are they talking about,
Okay.
so that gets their thought process going on.
Museum.
Okay, and then my third lap, main idea and 1 fact. So I'll tell the kids, hey guys, all right, 5 minutes now, I need you to flip over on the back and write 1 main idea, 1 fact. Okay,
I'm
go
not really
through.
sure I know what you mean when you say fact.
Fact is, it's just something that they get from here.
Like looking at this one, what would be a fact?
Looking at this one, so I would go through and say on your number one, salidas de fin de semana. So, outings, weekend outings, or going out on the weekends. Okay, so they list parks and bicycles. So going out in your parks and bicycles, that would be, excursions, day camps, parks, going out to parks, and bicycle rides.
Okay.
So that would be my fact.
The fact is that
What type of outings?
first they're gonna show the main idea, which
Yeah.
to me, I don't speak Spanish, it looks like family activities that families do.
Mhm.
And so then they, as a fact, they might say, families go on weekend outings, some of the things they do
Yeah.
are blah, blah, blah.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
And so if you, just like that, okay, say you were the load, I would have marked you, I don't get this, I don't get this. So I would have marked you, small group.
Cause you don't
Okay?
get it.
Yeah, because you don't get it.
Cause
So-
you're walking around there saying,
Yeah,
I don't get
Yeah,
this.
yeah, so I don't wanna do more than 5, okay? I don't wanna do more than 5, cause again, we wanna make sure that they're paired up, with a high level, the
But in
lows
the
can be
small
paired up
group,
with
you'll
high.
have 5 of the low ones.
Yeah, so I'll bring them over.
Just
I'll
right
sit
after
them
this
down.
happens?
Yeah, after we go through all of our laps, I set them on an independent,
Mhm.
The
rest of the class.
Yeah, independent.
And
What-
you'll actually go over this with them?
Yeah, and I'll go over this, okay, so.
Well, that's
All right, so you said, why did you think that? Okay, well, this is realized, because it says, it looks like it. So, I go over, hey, well, this is a false cognate. Okay, well, what are they doing here? What's the context of the infograph? I'll go over, false cognates, I'll go over their comprehension. Some of these kids will, like you said, will not put it in context. So we were looking at
You do a lot of word for word.
we did an Olympic one. Okay, it was an Olympic infograph, and it said salto de altura, and they were looking at it and said
Excuse me.
salto means salt.
Oh, okay.
Okay, we went over what alto is, so they should, alto, altura, kind of, it's one and the same.
Mhm.
It comes, they're based off of each other, they come from each other. Salto, one, they showed a picture of a guy arching his back. And 2,
Jump,
it's sports. Yeah,
high jump.
yeah. So.
So they were confused with the other word.
Yeah, they said salto, and they said, oh, that's salt. It's like,
And you're
hey,
like, what does salt have to do with the Olympics?
what does salt have to do with
So
any
you're not,
sports?
you're not, probably one of the first things you do is figure out the main idea.
Yeah, mhm,
And then keep that in your head.
yeah, yep,
The
exactly.
salt has nothing to do with it.
Nothing at all,
Yeah.
nothing at all.
Do you have, when you do this small group thing, do you have the ones that go, I don't care, I don't know?
Yeah.
So how do you deal with them?
And one thing that's one thing I'll go through the infograph with them and say, hey, all right, you know more of this than you think you do.
Okay.
So I'll go in here that I know is kind of a word for word cognate translation. All right, so number 2, visitas culturales.
Yeah, that's pretty,
Okay, and I say, well, what does that mean? Oh, visits, cultures, okay, okay. So,
what are we
Alright,
talking about here?
so
Family outings.
so
Yeah.
let's go through, okay, circle something. But look, you said museos.
Yeah.
What are museos? Museums.
Yeah.
So, what do museums and cultural visits have to do with each other? And just kind of let them know,
So-
oh, look, hey, look.
Yeah.
kind of walking them along and saying, you do know, it's just,
Teaching them how to think.
yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
So you're doing this like immediately after this?
Yes, yeah, oh,
That's
yeah,
good, I don't do that, that's really good.
Okay.
Small group, how long do you usually spend on it?
It just depends. I'll do anywhere from 5 to 10 minutes, just depending on the knowledge,
What if you had
of the kids.
You had like 10 kids and you had to
10
do
kids?
all,
And
two
you-
small groups.
But you move the kids from place?
Yeah, they
Yes,
come to
yeah,
your-
yeah, so,
They come to your dad?
yeah, so what I do, I have them back there on that
Small
table,
groups, like-
and I'll just sit back there and I'll
While
talk
these
to
guys
them
are
while
doing
these,
independent.
yeah, yeah. And so if I have 2 small groups, I'll do, again, I will, pair them up or group them up by what I think is their, deficiency. So if one's doing false cognates and the other one is, translating wrong, then I'll group them up together and and show them again, hey, sentence structure for the ones that are translating wrong, and the other ones, the cognates, let them know, look at the context and things like that. So I would explain those different points to them.
Just as a curiosity, what kind of independent study is the rest of the class doing?
So they're going on this, and for this one, I'd ask them, okay,
So you still let them,
yeah,
it's based on that?
it's based on this. So there's 5 different points. I'll say, okay, guys, tell me what you do for each of these
As a family,
as a family.
in Spanish?
Yes. So I'll let them have a chance to look it up on the phone, look up different things if they don't
So
know
they'll
it.
turn that in?
Yeah, and they'll turn it in.
And they'll work like independent, just do good stuff. Okay, that's good.
So
So you're always working on this authentic stuff?
yeah, it's going from it's my anchor from Monday, Wednesday to Friday. I'm using that same one. Vocabulary stays the same.
So this would be something you did at the end?
No, this is gonna be something we do at the beginning.
beginning.
Yeah, because it opens it up. Like I said, we'll do something independent practice so that they're looking up stuff for what they do. Okay.
Okay,
The
so then
next
on a
day,
Wednesday, what would you do, some more of a interpersonal?
it'll be interpersonal. It'll be a project based. So, all right.
If I choose one of those and look.
Either that or it's, okay, you're a business and you're trying to bring in families to do different things. So let them know the different experiences or the different activities they can do at your ranch or at your business. So again, you're
Either
like
a flyer
like a-
or
yeah,
an
a pamphlet,
advertisement or.
like, you're a travel guide, okay?
Will
I
they
can
work
take them these
together
things.
on that?
Yeah, they'll work in groups.
And then at the end of the week?
End of the week, they'll present. So it'll be
Oh, that's good.
communication.
He's a good teacher. He always gives me ideas. That makes so much sense to me.
Okay.
You know what, that's really good.
It's kind of, it flows
Now,
on.
will you put like an assessment in, like on Friday with the presentation?
Yes.
Or that-
Mhm.
Would it be more of like a formative assessment?
It would be informative, yeah.
So
'Cause
they'll
we would do-
present maybe what they did as interpersonal?
Yeah,
Maybe here's our flyer,
there you
here's
go.
our
and then-
whatever,
And then tell me about it.
real briefly,
Mhm,
okay?
mhm.
And then a formative assessment. I can see clearly now how it would be real easy to do that. It's good, huh?
Lastly, so, yeah, any questions on,
That's really
aggressive
helpful.
monitoring?
That's very, very helpful. I want this.
Yeah, I'll get you a copy of that and make sure everybody has a copy of that. Non-negotiables, moving on. Non-negotiables, make sure we have our LO, our DOL, agendas, essential questions, and lesson plans, as well as grades. Okay, make sure we have those, because I know they're gonna come through and look at that stuff. Make sure we have it, especially, yesterday ED was here with a whole bunch of her.
Yeah, what were they
crew.
doing?
I didn't know, I didn't check.
I know they had mock trial.
No, it was something,
It was something
yeah,
big.
yeah. So, So yeah, make sure we have those. This is my grades over here. That's my attendance. My word walls back there. Good. And then I have my LODOL, essential questions. They want to make sure we have like a minute, the increments right there. Don't just put, we're going to do the Frere model, we'll do this. Make sure we have that time increments, because that's one thing that they'll be looking
I
for.
don't do that. I
And
did it last year, right?
this week, next week, Monday is a parent conference. So make sure y'all bring something to eat. Hopefully they'll supply something to eat.
They could at least feed me.
So, any questions? Any questions?
This really, that's good.